Hello, my name is Pearci, PJ Bastiany III. I am running for San Francisco Board of Supervisors, District 10. I am also currently a graduate student at the University of San Francisco, studying in the Master's in Public Administration program. It's been the point of my research in the development of my thesis in graduate school, the reactivation and remediation of Hunters Point Shipyard. For decades, this has been not only a point of contention for the ABU and to ensure that there were black workers getting jobs out here. These dry docks were quite literally the most important asset on the West Coast for the better part of the last century. And during World War II, this was the shipbuilding and manufacturing hub that helped us win the war. And now it after the Navy left in the 90s, it's been shut down and it's just a sad state. And I have a beautiful vision for this shipyard. But first, before we can do anything, before we can reactivate the trade and bring these trade ships worth hundreds of millions of dollars of assets on their cargo to our berths out here so we can have our local construction company cranes, tower cranes, be able to get the cargo off these ships so we can truck it back to Oakland and make some money so that these ships out here can save money on all the waiting time, waiting around for the Port of Oakland to have an appointment available for them so a San Francisco tugboat can take them and the money over to Oakland. We can help speed along the supply chain by bringing these beautiful vessels waiting around for Oakland into our perfectly good berth space here that used to house the United States Navy. Now, before we can even do that, and before we can reactivate these manufacturing behemoths into a hydrogen-powered iron and steel flash-making manufacturing plant. Now, the Chinese were able to recently come out with a new method of flash iron and steel making where they use hydrogen to superheat the iron ore and create purified iron ore. Whereas the traditional method is to use coal, heat up the coal, smelt the iron ore, but the coal impurities go into the iron and it of course creates environmental byproduct of the coal smoke going up into the air. Now, the byproduct of using hydrogen in this process is steam. Now, what we can have is not only a plant that would be able to generate exportable steel and iron of the purest grade, that byproduct of steam will be able to power steam turbine engines to self-power the plant. Add in solar powers and wind turbines, we would have a 100% eco closed loop system, eco-friendly manufacturing plant that not only would be able to use the steam to power the plant, it could power the district. And this steam, I'm going to ensure that we use copper piping for the entire steam infrastructure so that we would be able to reverse osmosis and desalinate the water, that steam into water, pure potable water, an endless supply of drinkable, potable, copper-infused water out of plant 1. Our secondary plant, here in District 10, we also have on the other side of the shipyard here, the recology facility that collects all of the city's recyclable goods. I just need the glass, because what do you get with a glass forge? That ability to take all of this recycled glass and smelt it down into moldable glass of any kind that you need. They power it with hydrogen. Oh, so guess what? We can have a secondary plant over here, a hydrogen-powered glass forge, where we can collect all of the city's glass bottles, smelt it back down, and I would be able to self-create endless supply of wine bottles for the wine industry up in Napa, beer bottles for our homegrown breweries here in San Francisco and throughout California. We would be able to have glass water bottles for our copper infused water, and we would be able to create an endless supply of glass bottles with copper infused water in a district that has been a subject of such toxic environmental disaster for so long. Now, for the third and final plant, San Francisco used to have a bottling plant for Coca-Cola in the last century. Here in this shipyard, we will also have a bottling plant that will then take all of the wine bottles and beer bottles and glass water bottles that we are self-generating our own hydrogen-powered facility here. We'll have our very own bottling plant to be able to export anybody's bottles. We can be able to take contracts for any beverage company in the world and be able to bottle their beverages right here in District 10. Now, before I can do all of that, before we can bring back the trade jobs, the manufacturing jobs, and reestablish shipbuilding here in District 10 as it used to be, because we need a shipbuilding renaissance in America. Before we can do all of that, we must heal the soil. We must heal and remediate the soil with sunflowers. These beautiful sunflowers are not only one of God's most beautiful creations, they are actually been scientifically proven to have phytoremediation capabilities to absorb uranium, cadmium, cesium, lead, and arsenic out from under the soil, from the water, and from the air. To extract them and pull them into the roots and to the stalk, be able to harvest the sunflowers and heal the soil, pull the toxins quite literally out of the soil. And so we have right behind me the very own Superfund sites where the Navy has generously left all of those toxic landfills all behind me. Everywhere where you see dirt and mounds and piles is just decades long, layered up deep, radioactive landfills, Superfund sites. And this dry dock here can't even be used because inside the water is power washed uranium from Navy sites. It's green plants here, green trees here, serpentine rock, which in and of itself we can't even dig because it is asbestos and it's filled with uranium as well. That mounds in the back, all of it, we plant with our beautiful little sunflowers. In 3 to 5 years, we can actually use this land to do all of the wonderful things that I've been telling you. This has been tested in Chernobyl, and it was able to successfully remediate some of the areas in Chernobyl. Scientists planted fields and acres full of sunflowers. This was done in Fukushima after the natural disaster there as well. And we can do this right here in District 10. Help me, Bayview. Let's create one of the largest sunflower fields in District 10 in California, right here in our very own shipyard. We can have a field of thousands of these beautiful, lovely plants throughout our beautiful shipyard. Everywhere, every square inch, we can have these planted. We can layer the ground in mulch so that way our lovely plants can sprout and grow all over. And we have been able to have sunflowers be tested in Chernobyl to where they can be planted on logs and placed on water and aquatic surfaces to remediate out of the water the radioactive isotopes. So, help me, help Mother Earth, using these lovely babies of our sunflowers to remediate the Hunters Point shipyard so we can reactivate it and rebuild it and reopen it and bring our jobs back to District 10.